All right, happy Monday, everyone. It's Monday, November 11th, so it is Remembrance Day. Hope everyone's having a good day and taking time to remember those before us. Want to jump on here to make another quick video. This time in regards to more of a personal, kind of touchy subject, I guess. Um, it's not that touchy, but something that I did personally in the past year that's been a huge difference and change in my attitude, my day to day everything, at least what I've found personally over the past couple months here since stopping it. But the topic is essentially smoking weed, or yeah, my personal experience with smoking weed. So I smoked weed since I was pretty much in college daily. Like, I mean, daily. Some days more than others. Certainly not every day was the same. Weekends a little bit more when I was having fun or going out with friends and such as well. But I've smoked weed quite often, like very, very often. Um, Sorry, I just got distracted, but yeah, I smoked weed very often in college, every single day throughout the past 7 years of my life. I'm now 27, going on 28 come spring. But I noticed that weed was affecting me long term in negative ways. I began to have just a very bad attitude. Every time I smoked weed, I used to get really snappy and snippy, if you want to call it that, with people. I'd be short tempered. I would have bags under my eyes like crazy. I would have, like, all the way down to here. I already have bags under my eyes just from getting up early, but I used to have terrible bags under my eyes. I used to lose focus all the time. I'd be chewing the inside of my gums from being nervous and just kind of worked up and having high stress. Although I do work in a more of a high stress job and I'm an account executive and I work sales, so that's kind of bound to happen. But you shouldn't be sitting there gnawing on your gums because you're either wanting a fix of smoking weed, or you just feel uncomfortable, or you're feeling anxious throughout the day. Like, why add to your stress and why add to your anxiety by smoking weed or taking substance or whatever, especially when you do it long term? I'm sure people who might watch this video, or at least I hope it finds the right crowd who needs to hear this. But again, I smoked weed for every single day consistently, and actually worked at a weed shop a few years back as well. It's kind of like a part-time gig while working other jobs as well for some more money. But um, yeah, I think it's been the best decision of my 20s, to be honest. Maybe I'm doing it a little bit late at 27, but I haven't smoked any weed for almost 2 months now. It's been a little bit difficult here and there. I've been tempted to kind of have the odd smoke here and there, but honestly, I'm thankful I've been strict to that, because I feel the mental clarity I feel day to day is amazing. I have way more energy. I feel way better. I'm not as snippy. My bags under my eyes are completely gone pretty much, except for, of course, waking up early, just kind of having some natural bags under my eyes. But I just feel way better. Mental clarity is on another level. I feel good. I feel like I can focus my train of thoughts way better. I'm having better relationships with my parents, my friends, especially my girlfriend. I feel like it's super important to be clear for her and to be just not be snippy and feel like I'm not myself. And I feel like every time I used to smoke weed, at least for 4 hours or 3 hours out of that like high per se, I would be different. I wouldn't be me. So I feel so much more like myself. And I remember talking to myself towards the end of smoking weed and being like, I don't feel like myself any day. Like, I used to smoke weed, like, why don't I feel like myself? I feel so off. I keep feeling off. And I even talked to my parents about that. I felt so off. I didn't feel like me. And I was like, what am I doing every single day? And I was like, duh, like, fucking clue in, right? I was smoking weed all the time and I was abusing a substance. I know maybe it's not a hardcore substance, but nowadays, especially in Canada here, they have weed stores everywhere. And unfortunately, the weed that's being grown and smoked by a lot of the younger generations, or older ones now, that weed's laced with chemicals. It's laced with chemicals from huge, I'm not going to say a name so this video doesn't get taken down, but huge conglomerate corporations who put pesticides on everything, not only our food, but our weed that you're smoking. So you have to think, if you're smoking weed consistently day to day, the chemicals that you're inhaling all the time are eventually going to affect you in negative ways. So maybe not everyone has that experience, and maybe not everyone smoked as much as me to have those experiences, but I'm just telling people, or again, sharing my perspective on it. It's, if you feel similar habits coming about, where you feel those inclinations to be like, what's going on? I don't feel good anymore. um, then it's time to give yourself a break. It's time to stop smoking weed. It's time to give yourself, I wouldn't even call it a tolerance break. Just quit cold turkey. There's no point in giving yourself a tolerance break because you're going to go back to it. You're going to go back to that same routine of smoking once. Then a week later, you're going to smoke twice a day, then 3 times a day, then every other day, then every day again, and it just adds up. So give yourself that break. Give yourself the power and strength that you have inside you to not need it anymore. The feeling that you'll get back is total control. You'll have control over your actions, your attitude. You'll feel happy. You'll feel more driven. And ultimately, it's just, I feel like you can live your life without it, right? Like we didn't get born smoking weed. Yes, we have cannabinoid receptors in our bodies to be able to sustain and to have the cannabis work for us, but at the end of the day, what's the point? Like if you're ruining relationships or you're not feeling good every single day and you're feeling groggy and tired and you're not looking your best or not feeling your best, it's not adding to you by any means, then take it out of your life. Whether that be smoking weed or shitty food, that's a whole other topic in general, but I'm thankful as fuck that I quit smoking weed, and I will honestly only encourage that from here. I'm not judgmental. I'm not going to put other people down for smoking weed. My girlfriend smokes now and then. I have no problem with it. I feel like she's a more happy-go-lucky person in general, and it doesn't really affect her that way. So it's my perspective. But again, if you're out there and you feel like the weed's affecting your life, your day-to-day, then give yourself a chance, give yourself a shot, and claim that power back to yourself, because you don't need it. It's not worth it. And I can only imagine how much money I've spent over 7 years. I probably could have bought myself maybe not a brand new car, but a used car, right? Like the whole point is like whether the car be nice or not, if you're spending 5, 10, 15 plus grand on weed over the span of almost, 7 years is, I was, probably up there, right? Because sometimes you treat yourself, sometimes you buy a bong or fancy joints or gold rolling papers, like shit like that, right? They just sell you. It's another industry to sell you more products and more and get you sucked in. So when you start to spend that much time and effort on that routine of smoking, getting up, rolling a joint, smoking weed, the first thing you get up, it's just such a toxic habit in my opinion. And at least, again, that's for myself. I realized that was a toxic habit that I was developing, so I needed to stop that. And again, it's been life-changing to me. I feel so good every single day. It's giving me the motivation to go out and be more open in public, to have better conversations. I realized when I was smoking weed, I would be sitting there, and ultimately, every time I would be sitting there smoking weed, I couldn't have a conversation in public. I couldn't go out and just have a conversation with anybody. I'd get so worked up or annoyed or just shy almost. I'd put my head down in public and walk down the street when I was really high. I'd be like, I don't want anyone to look at me. I'd wear my glasses inside so people couldn't see that my eyes were bloodshot, or I'd have dark circles under my eyes. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Ultimately, sorry, my one hair keeps sticking out here, whatever. Why am I doing this? Like, I'm making myself feel uncomfortable for no fucking reason. Me as myself, I'm more of an introvert, but I'm also someone who loves opening up, who has conversations with anybody, who can get along with anybody if I really want to. And weed was hindering that so much. So I'm on my journey to, I wouldn't call it sobriety. I still drink alcohol now and then too. Why not? I mean, I know it's still not good for you either, but I don't consume it in heavy amounts. Usually wine on weekends. But yeah. I'm certainly getting away from weed in general. I don't think I'll ever have weed again. The last time I did have weed, I still had a break between when I fully stopped. I had a little bit, probably 3 months ago, and I felt so off. I felt so anxious immediately. I didn't feel good, and I immediately regretted it. And when I know I regretted it, I should just be like, no, this is it. I'm done. Cut cold turkey. No one-off times. None of that crap. I'm done. So if you feel like you're in the same boat, I hope this video finds you. Give yourself the strength, give yourself the positivity, and go ahead and do it. It is shitty for the first few weeks, I have to admit. I was having terrible nightmares, terrible night sweats. It was really, really shitty, actually. I felt like I was literally having withdrawal from something, which it was. But I've gone over that hump, and I'm just kind of, again, I'm back to having dreams, positive dreams, sometimes nightmares, but at the end of the day, I'd rather have the ability to dream and not completely destroy my I forget the exact term I'm looking for here, but kind of destroy my brain thoughts, just destroy what's going on in my brain naturally, right? Like, I go to bed now and I'm praying instead of smoking a joint. So we each find peace in different ways. If you enjoy weed, great. If you're finding like it's taking over your life, and I hope this video finds you, I hope it gives you motivation to stop, because I'm telling you, it does help. You'll feel so much better. You'll feel happier. when you wake up and you get through that hump, you'll feel really good and satisfied with yourself. So make that choice, make that decision. I hope this video finds you, and I hope it's at least just a positive light to shine on the internet here instead of something negative. So that's my journey with the whole weed thing, and I hope this finds the right people. But again, it's your choice at the end of the day. This is my perspective. That's how it's affected me. So if you feel like anyone you need to talk to or want a opinion or maybe some questions answered, I'm sure I could give you a feedback or anything like that. So leave a comment if you feel the need to, or direct message me. I'd be happy to talk with you if you want a person to talk with in regards to that, if you're having more difficulty quitting. So yeah, I hope you all have a great day. Take care. Do what you need to do to be successful. And of course, enjoy yourself. Peace and love to everyone. Have a great night. Take care.